is MichaelEppley, real estate agent with Oregon First, and today, Friday, we are talking about iBuyer programs, the mortgage rates, what real estate agents do for you, and also which web portals to use. It's a little bit more extensive than it will normally be, but that's what's on my list. And so first is iBuyer programs and when you should use them and when you should maybe not. And ultimately that is actually obviously up to you. But and they pitch themselves as being the newest thing on the block, and having a title, they are the newest thing on the block. Probably. I haven't heard of anything else. But it's also the oldest thing on the block because people have always gone out and bought houses to flip and then to resell. And I suspect that's always been the case. So it's nothing spectacularly new. The difference is the huge investment that people have to put into it. And these are tech investors by and large, or people with a ton of money to put into these programs and hopefully recoup a ton of money, because that's what people do when they have an investment. They're not doing it for free. They're hoping to make money. And their goal is to turn an investment. So they try to pitch that they are low profit. You need to check that out and make sure all the numbers add up. If I were you, I would talk to 2 real estate agents, traditional, and then 1 iBuyer program at least, if I were going to consider going down the route of an iBuyer program to sell in my home. Now, when is an iBuyer program great is if you are adverse to preparing your home for any reason, then an iBuyer program might very well be a great option. But not necessarily. You don't need to. They're going to actually want you to sell their house to them, and then they prep it and then sell it. Then prep it and then sell it for you. Now, the guy who just honked at me changed lanes in the middle of the intersection, and that is actually not allowed in Oregon. You're not allowed, as far as I know, to change lanes in the middle of an intersection because it's not telling the guy at turning right, which you can turn on red, that you're changing lanes. So he should have been honking his horn at himself for breaking the law. As far as I know, somebody can come on and correct me. I did not see them changing lanes. I saw them pulling up in the other lane behind the bus, as far as I know. Might have been wrong. I can't remember. I didn't see him. Either way, so iBuyer programs are definitely beneficial if you are thinking of or planning on moving out of the state or out of the country. It might very well be better than using a relocation agent, as you get the cash in hand and then you can immediately purchase another home. You don't have an empty house to deal with when you're out of the area and dealing with all that. Although you might get more money if you use a relocation company, you might actually consider to use a combination. So you initially go with the relocation company suggested agent or another agent. You're not required to use a suggested agent from a relocation company. and then use the iBuyer if your home does not sell for whatever reason. Or you might actually just list it with the real estate agent, and then some iBuyer programs to gain market in the Portland Metro at the moment are actually going and making offers on houses that are on the market just so they can get their name out there and say that they are doing business. That is my guess. I've definitely heard of iBuyer programs going out and making offers and buying houses that are up for sale at market rates. How they're making any money on that, because they're only going around and flipping the house and reselling it immediately, I have no idea, but I think it's just so their name gets out and they can say how many houses that they've sold. I don't think that they're aiming to make a lot of money. They're aiming to not lose any money. And they want a house, they're going to probably offer only on houses that are going to resell promptly. I am not in the habit of there's a car, we're waiting for the Max, and there was a car that was on the tracks, and I wanted the guy to get out of there because Max does go slowly, but not necessarily, and so I was honking just to make sure he knew where he was. It was going the right way, so the Max would have stopped, I believe, at that station that's right there. Either way, that is the Max. I don't think I've ever actually captured the Max on video, so iBuyer programs are definitely worthwhile to consider. I would not say that they're going to solve all your problems, and you will have to consider that ultimately you probably will lose money, or not necessarily lose money. You will not have as much a profit off of your house if you do. There are other considerations. You should consider talking to your accountant or an accountant if you are considering using an iBuyer because of some of the capital gains. I've heard of one issue once, maybe, and I'm not really confident that that was an issue. It should be just a traditional real estate transaction, but if that is your consideration, you should do that. If you're looking at investments, you definitely need to think about that iBuyer program and talk to an accountant before even considering that. Now on to mortgage rates, and really it's mortgage rates have gone down if you hadn't heard, and so it is a good time to be buying. It's also not a bad time to be selling, so if that is your consideration, you should be thinking about that. And if you are thinking about putting it off, you should really be talking to a real estate agent. I have many different options I have for no money down. If you are have a great position, possibly you have the income, you just don't have the money, there are options out there for no money down home loans that will save you money in the long run. So it's definitely something that you can consider. Recently, in an upcoming episode, we'll be talking about how to not have buyer's remorse. That will take some thinking on my part, how to talk about it, but I've heard recently there's a significant amount of home buyers who are having buyer's remorse at the moment. So the last topic of discussion today is which web portal, website or mobile application to use. And so my answer is whichever one you like. If you're a real estate agent doesn't use one, tell them that's the one you would like to use, and you will tell them the listing number, the address, whatever it is that will connect them to the one that you are interested in. Now, so you say, I like Redfin because of the way it looks, the way it works. That's fine. It's a real estate agency that's trying to steer you to use them. But if you want to use Redfin, that's fine. Zillow, they're also trying to steer you to the real estate agents who pay them money so that they can be at the top of the list. That's still fine. And Zillow and Trulia are the same company. Realtor.com, it's the same exact thing. That's how they make their money. Realtors give them money to list them at the top. My preferred, and it's probably because I'm biased, is HomeSnap. And HomeSnap is connected to the MLS, and so effectively I am paying for that. I do prefer it for a number of reasons, but all of them have their pluses and minuses, so I would actually not say to choose one over the other. And an upcoming, so ultimately try them all out, see which ones you like, and then go from there. HomeSnap.com will have the latest and the fastest feed because it's coming directly from the MLS, or the multiple listing service in the Portland metro market, which is our MLS, because they are directly tied. In upcoming episode, as I said, we'll be talking more about what agents do for you, home inspections, as well as anything else that comes to mind. This is Michael Eppley, real estate agent with Oregon First. You can find my website at OregonMetroHomes.com. Talk to you soon. Have a good day and enjoy the